Hey, it's Grandmother Margarit. Nature Adventure is on my porch today because it's been stinking hot in the 30s Celsius. Anyways, whew, in May, record. And anyways, so here we are, and I'll give you a little tour first. But how appropriate is this? Bloom where you're planted. So just getting some herbs. I got some lettuce. Not getting too much hummy activity, but I got the invitation out. So I moved in November. I'll have to get some furniture one of these days. Get to enjoy a fire pit down there sometimes. The landlord lives here. There's 5 of us renting in this old house. So yes, I got bird's eye view. And so much contemplation. I've been just writing so much. I think it'd probably be easier if I read it so I don't get off track. Because it's, really having to love my story. And this time last year, I actually had like 2 crowdfunding going. I fought tooth and hard not to have to be on the system. And yes, I'm grateful for it now. But the system wants you sick. And I got sicker on it. So I am on disability. Maybe I don't need to read what I wrote. Maybe I'll read that after. But, it's with, and I don't know if these are true facts, right? But it's, I think it's 4 months that people who have been laid off, lost their jobs, can get, and they're saying it's 8 million Canadians have been getting this. $2,000 a month. And on disability, I get $1,300. So, yeah, it occurred to me, okay, now that I'm in a safe place and I can actually talk about why I saw the idea off the bat of how crowdfunding or crowdsourcing works better, like we the people, right? Giving tips. So in this pause, I've really been seeing the discrepancy, like the gap of what people in sports make and artists, creators make, right? And so, for like 18 years, I was in the hospitality industry, and most of them as a bartender. So I've been saying I'm starting this new campaign, a buck for beauty instead of beer, a buck or 2, right? So if I was mixing spirits, right, the cocktails. So friends of Trumpeter Swans with my Patreon. So maybe this, that's what I'm talking about is Patreon. It's changed so many times, and now we got this beautiful story going. And that's like $2. Like, I know everybody is plentiful enough to have $2, right? $2 tip. But also in my yoga years, so how long were my yoga years? Over 20. And so I receive heart offerings when I'd be doing meditations and such, right? So, yeah, plenty for all, tipping. So Patreon is just one area I'm sure there's other, right? But like when I did Fundly or GoFundMe, things like that, they're only like 30 days, 60 days tops. But something like this Patreon is ongoing, right? So I don't know if I, anyways, it's for artists and creators. But then, it expanded for me to think about, yeah, why not the healer? So I have a Reiki membership up there. So people in the service industries, and even thinking about like all those years bartending, it fed my pocketbook, but not my soul, right? And serving spirit in different spirits, right? More of my creative. So yeah, like all my years yoga teaching, I didn't make as much as a bartender. And again, it was least effort, a beer, right? Here you go. Okay, here's a buck or more, right? Drunker they got. And so think about how many tips in a night I'd get. I could serve someone from 6 till 1 in some of my the regulars, right? As a writer, now I'm like, my passion is photographer and the videos, right? So and why the suppression of a grandmother who has so much to offer? And when I was in survival mode, but see, that's the destiny. I had to be in the system to see how it needs an upgrade. So throw some ideas down there. Yeah, so maybe then disability and Ontario Works, that you have to be on first to even get accepted for disability. We got some deeper, there's many layers with all this. Okay, so I was going to read. What else? Become a member. Or, throw some tips. The system wants you sick. Then they can take advantage of you. I am in it so I can speak to what I know. And the solution I found, which is, the crowdfunding. Like last year, if you don't know my story, I had to move in June, and I couldn't find a place, so the town found me an awful place, but I had a fundraiser going. So I fought the good fight to be free of the system. Now my liberation can be the liberation of the many. Yeah, so I saw how the concept would work right away for my bartending days and getting tips, and my yoga days of love offerings for meditation. Get tips for creators in this pause. Look at the gap of what sports players make. Hospitality industry, it's a habit to tip. Now that habit is being broken, we can turn and face service, the arts, and creators to give tips to. And, if people are saying, oh, well, so many people have lost their job. Well, I'm proof that I experimented, if you will. But I'm supporting another creator, $5 a month. And at least 8 months of that, I was not even getting $700 a month. And I've been honest. I've been totally vulnerable and authentic and transparent about the path that I've been walking. And it's unfortunate that I will be leaving YouTube, and it's all going to be on Patreon. That's where I'm going to be. Patreon/Margarit Brigham. It's where the content is mine. The spell's been broken of wasting my time over on social media. I'm only one person. And I was doing Instagram, why have I burnt out so many times? Because I have so many channels, talking to so many channels, right? As one person. I had a few volunteers, but it's apparent if I'm gone, nothing gets, that the content stops. So Facebook and, oh yeah, anyways, I'm committed to writing this ebook and communicating on Patreon. So there's I think 9 membership levels, but again, you don't have to receive anything. You can just give tips. Also, I have PayPal, Margarit Brigham. So I know there's other ways on YouTube that the younger have found to tip. Maybe you can share that too. Raise up this grandmother. We raise all of us up. Plenty for all.